Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can display both front and back camera concurrently or simultaneously in Flutter Android application using Camera X. So let's get started. This is only for Android using Flutter. First I'll show you guys the output. So here I'll just play the output. So first it requires the camera permission, as obviously, so I'll just quickly give the camera permission, and here you can see the front camera is being displayed, and on the bottom right hand side the back camera is displayed. So here you can see I'm moving my camera as well, and once I click on take photo, it will just capture the photo. Now it depends on you what you want to capture, so you can capture the back camera's output as well, but I'm just capturing the front camera's output. I'll later on tell you, in case if you're interested in capturing the back camera's output as well, how you can do that, but hopefully you got the point. Now there is no third-party library at the time of me recording this, so we will be writing native code. Also there is one more thing, not all Android device support this particular feature. So in case if your Android device does not support the feature, then I'm just showing the front camera and you will see a toast message or an alert dialog as soon as your app starts saying that your device does not support this feature. You will only see the front camera, there will be no back camera. Or in case if you want to display the back camera, you can display the back camera but the front camera will not be displayed. So at a time only one camera will be displayed in case if your device does not support it, so be careful with that. So let's get started. So as usual, I have created a Flutter application. Then you need to go to the main.dart file, and here I have imported dart.io first. Then I have imported this my camera view file, which is separate Dart file I have created. Now instead of Flutter app 3, you will have to write your own project name. So as you can see, my project name is Flutter app 3. Then you have to import Flutter material as well as Flutter services. This is boilerplate code which is present by default. I have not touched any of this. So here is our home page widget. It is a stateful widget, and here even with native code I am requesting camera permission, but if you want to use a third-party library for just getting the camera permission, you can do that. I'm not using any third-party library. So this is just a method channel just to give a callback from native side to Flutter that the camera permission has been granted. So inside the init state, if platform is Android, then we just call this get camera permission. So here we do camera permission dot invoke, passing the get camera permission, and if we get the result, then we just set this particular variable as true. Okay, and here if is permission granted, then we just display this camera view, else we display a safe area with a text saying give camera permission. Now this my camera view is part of this particular file. Here we import dart.io, Flutter material as well as Flutter services. Again it is a stateful widget. Here is we have a method channel again, and here we have this image URL empty. So this method channel will help us to fetch the captured image URL. So the captured image is displayed inside a Flutter's image view. So here you can see inside the build method, if platform is Android and image URL is not equal to empty, then we display the image using image.file, else we display the Android view. So the Android view will help us to display both the live camera, so front and back camera simultaneously, as well as the capture button. For all other platforms we just display a placeholder. Okay, and here we have this on platform view created callback. So this callback gets called once you click on the take photo button. Okay, so here we get the image URL of the captured image and we just assign it to our image URL variable. Then let's go to the Android folder, go to app, build.gradle.kts, and first important thing which you need to do is you need to update the min SDK version to 23, because the Camera X library requires min SDK to 23, at least at the time of me recording. By default Flutter uses version 21 I guess min SDK, but you have to update it to 23. Then let's just scroll down. Then you have to add this dependencies block. Here you need to add camera core. So now again the Camera X dependency, the minimum required is 1.5.0, but at the time of me recording it is still not stable. It is still in RC, but hopefully by the time you guys watch it, it will become stable. So if it does become stable, you don't require this RC01, you can use it like this. Same for all this other dependencies as well. Okay, but at least at the time of me recording it is still in RC, that's why I have to use it like this. And 1.5.0 is necessary, you can't use version below it because this feature is not available below versions. So here we add camera 2, life cycle, camera view, camera extension, then the app compat as well as constraint layout dependency. Then you need to go to src main android manifest.xml. Here you need to add uses per feature of Android hardware camera permission, as well as write external storage permission. Now write external storage is only required if you are using Android version below 10, otherwise this permission is not required. Then go to Kotlin, go to main activity. Now firstly you have to copy all these imports which are there. Now here mostly we are requesting for the camera permission, so here you can see we are requesting for camera permission. For Android version below 10 we also use the write external storage permission. Here we have this method channel result for sending data from native Android side to Flutter side. So here we are overriding this method, and it is called automatically once you request for camera permission. If the user grants the permission, then we send back true back to Flutter side, else we send back as false. And here we just have a helper method just to check whether the camera permission was granted or not. Here we override configure Flutter engine. So here we just do Flutter engine dot platform views controller dot register. Here we register our view factory. Here we pass our camera view. Here is our my camera view factory. Okay, is now this particular bit of code will help us to display the front and back camera as well as the take photo button. So this my camera view factory is a Kotlin file which I will show you shortly. And here again we are requesting for camera permission as soon as our app launches. So that's what this code is all about. Now coming back to this my camera view factory, so here you need to create this particular Kotlin file. Now this package name should be the same whatever you see inside this main activity, the first line over here. So copy your own package name, don't copy my package name. Rest everything you can copy it. Now this is boilerplate code which is present by default. You don't have to worry about all this code. This is a default code which you have to write every time you want to embed a native Android view inside your Flutter application. So that's all the code there is to it. Then here you can see we are referencing another Kotlin file called my camera view. So here we have this my camera view.kt file. Again, this is the package name. These are all the imports. I'll simply scroll through this file. Feel free to pause the video and just copy all these imports. There is nothing really to explain about the imports. Then here we have this image capture. Then here we have two camera selector, primary and secondary. Here is our constraint layout. Then we have two viewfinders. These viewfinders are basically the camera preview view which you see. Then here is our capture image button. Then here we have this method channel as well. Then here we have camera selector as well, camera executor as well, sorry. And here we just have one variable. Then here we set the layout params for our constraint layout. I am using constraint layout because it makes easy to do constraints programmatically. Then the first viewfinder, basically the front camera which you saw in my case, but you can make this as back camera as well. I'll tell you that. Okay, and here we are constraining it to occupy all sides, or to all sides of the screen, right? So that's what this code is all about. Then this is the second viewfinder. I want it to be the bottom right hand side of our screen. That's what I'm doing over here. Okay, and this is our button. So here we set the text background color, text color, and we constrain it to the bottom of the screen. Then here we have a click listener for our button where we call take photo, and here we have setup camera where we just call start camera method. So if you want, you can directly call start camera over here. Then here we have this take photo method where we first check whether image capture is not equal to null. We assign it some name with the help of simple date format. Then we use content values to pass the display name, MIME type, and if Android version greater than P, we also set the relative path. Then here we do image capture dot output file options, and we pass the content resolver, external content URI, as well as content values. Then we do image capture dot take picture, pass our output options, and here we override on error as well as on image saved. And whatever is the image saved image URL, so this is actually the image URL, but we need to convert it to proper path with the help of this method, otherwise Flutter won't be able to render it with its image view. That's what I'm calling it over here and sending it back to Flutter side. That's what this code does. Okay, then here we override get view, so we return our constraint layout. Here we override dispose where we shut down our camera executor. Here we call start camera where we first initialize our aspect ratio strategy. Here is our resolution selector, and here is our camera provider future. So here is our camera provider future dot add listener. Then here we do process camera provider. We add our default back camera. Then here we loop over all the available concurrent cameras. Here first for primary selector, here you can see I'm assigning lens facing front, but if you want the main primary camera selector to be lens facing back, then you just have to use this over here and this over here. So that's all the change you need to do. Then here I'm just checking if any of this is equal to null. If any of this is equal to null, then make both of them null, and else we just break out of it. Okay, then here I'm just checking if either one of them is null, then we just say to the user, okay, concurrent cameras are not available. Then I'm hiding the second view finder. I will just show you the primary view, the front camera. Okay, so here we are initializing our preview view. Here we initialize our image capture. We unbind our camera provider. We bind it to the life cycle over here. Else, in case if you have concurrent camera feature on your device, then we initialize our primary preview view. Similarly, we initialize our secondary preview view. Then we initialize our image capture. Then here we initialize primary group, where we pass primary preview as well as image capture. Here is our secondary group. So here you can see I'm passing this use case of image capture to our primary group, right? So when I clicked on the take photo button, it only captured my front facing camera. But in case if you want to capture back camera, then you can remove this add use case from this and add it over here. So it's up to you what you want to do. Okay, you can capture whatever you feel like. Then here we initialize this primary concurrent cameras dot single camera config. Now this even I don't understand, like I have just copy pasted it from the Android documentation. Similarly, I have done it for the secondary as well. Again, I don't really understand what all this is, but I have copied it from the documentation. Then we again unbind our camera provider. We bind it to the life cycle, and here finally we pass this context compat dot get main executor, pass context over here. So yeah, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Okay, I'll just, yeah, so if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.